Hello guys, No here from TLS Clash, back with another episode of War Recap series. And first of all, I'd just like to apologize to everyone for not posting for a while. I mean, it's been almost a month since I posted the last War Recap series episode, and yeah, I'd just like to apologize. I am a senior, so I have to focus on school a lot, but I will try to post as many videos as I can, because I really enjoy doing these videos. So last time we stopped at the Dark Lodge War. We were watching Town Hall 9 attacks, and this episode, we're gonna take a look at the Town Hall 8 attacks. And yeah, we're gonna watch James do a nice mass hog attack on this base. As you can see, the enemy clan castle is pretty bad because it has a witch and wizards, and even though this video is pretty old, the poison still pretty much did the same thing, only it dealt a lot more damage straight away than it deals, and now it deals a lot of damage over time. So yeah, this poison will easily take care of the enemy CC. And as you can see, he's learning the enemy king, so he can do a king swap, and that's pretty much useful. And one thing I don't like about this attack is, as you can see in this base, there's only one possible, and it's pretty bad but obvious, double giant bomb spot, which is at 3 o'clock on this base. And what I would have done is just used a couple of hogs, for example 6 or 7 hogs, to take care of those wizard tower and archer tower on the right side of the base, so I can trigger all the bombs. And it was a first attack, so James didn't know where the bombs could be, and he might have expected single bombs in the core, but I mean, I would have done it anyways because it's a really big danger. I mean, threat in case all the hogs get bunched up in the end and possibly even die to those bombs. So that's a little thing to keep in mind. When you're attacking a base for the first time, you need to always make sure you eliminate all the possible double giant bomb spots before attack. And yeah, so as we can see, he did a little Asian wall down the bottom of this base, and now he's just easily pre-healing his hogs. And yeah, he managed to take out the enemy king with his level 10 king, which is great because it won't really deal damage to his hogs. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I have no idea why there's such a long pause here. I probably left it so I have something to say about this attack, but I honestly have no idea. And yeah, so we're just gonna continue with this mass hog attack. The hogs are slowly moving their way through the base, and as you can see, there are no giant bombs in the core, which means all the bombs are pretty much in that compartment as we guessed. So now we're gonna watch just James hogs go around this base and clean up the defenses, and it's a pretty big threat, but in the end, as you can see, his hogs will split on that mortar and trigger the bombs one at a time, and that will leave a lot of hogs alive, and he does manage to clean up this base. And now he's just dropping his cleanup wizards around the base so he can clean this base up nicely. And yeah, he still has a lot of time to deal with and a lot of hogs, and this is a nice 3-star overall. So the next attack we're gonna take a look at is gonna be by Yu or Na, and he's pretty much a beast. Town Hall 8, I really like his attacks because he's a very versatile player, and you'll often see him do Go Valo, Go Aho, and all these nice attack strategies that I really enjoy. Town Hall 9, he's just doing them at Town Hall 8, and yeah, that's something I really enjoy. And he's gonna lure the enemy CC. He maybe wasn't sure if he can lure, but I'm pretty sure he could have lured with a barbarian or 2 and possibly saved 3 troop space, but I mean, it wasn't bad in the end. he gets the lure, he's luring the dragon at 9 o'clock on this base, now dropping in his barbarians and wizards in behind, and he takes care of that nicely. But one little tip is I would have dropped my golem right behind the dragon so it follows it, because the golem is there to tank, and these wizards are pretty much wasted because he lost a lot of wizards he could have used for cleanup in the end, because he had to take care of the dragon in that way. But I mean, he could have avoided it with the golem tanking the dragon, but he didn't want it to take I guess the damage from the dragon. And yeah, so as you can see, the Valks are slowly making their way through this base and into the core. Now a lot of traps get triggered, and yeah, the Valks will trigger the double giant bomb spot and slowly make their way through this base. They are standing in heals, so this base is getting wrecked at the moment, and he starts dropping his loons nicely. It was a very nice timing because their defense didn't go down, but he still manages to deploy all the loons so he can get to those defenses as fast as possible. And he rages his king to try to get through that wall as fast as possible, take care of the last defenses so his loons can get a little split on cleanup. And that's always useful, because if your loons don't split on cleanup and you have no cleanup troops like Ned does, it's pretty dangerous for your raid, because you'll just in the end lose a lot of time due to loons dealing too much damage per one building, because you don't need more than 2 or 3 loons per building to clean up a base nicely. So if your loons are bunched up, you're on a big loss with time. And yeah, that was a very nice attack by Ned. And I apologize if you notice my voice is usually pretty boring to listen to, but right now I'm sick, and that's one of the reasons why I found time to do this war recap. And yeah, I hope you guys don't mind that much. I'll just sip my tea. And now we're gonna watch Josh do a nice mass hog attack. And this was not a cleanup attack, this was a first attack, because I remember this raid. And a nice thing he did is he took care of that wizard tower. So by doing that, he eliminated one possible double giant bomb spot in the base and lure out the enemy CC, and that's really useful. And before the latest update in Clash, this poison is pretty much useless on the dragon, but he uses it anyways, because he did manage to trigger those skeleton traps. And now he's just gonna surgical around this base, dropping a couple of hogs per defense and just pre-healing the possible giant bomb spots. And yeah, he does that so nicely, because after all, he's our best Town Hall 8. And yeah, as you can see, he manages to avoid that double giant bomb just by doing a nice surgical attack from that side. In the end, drops his king to tank for those backhand hogs, which is beautiful. And because the king will go around and clean and tank at the same time, so that's a pretty big use for your king, other than doing basically a king swap. And yeah, as you can see, he has a lot of hogs for this base, too many pretty much, and he can just clean the base up nicely. The hogs did split, a couple of in the core, a couple on top and bottom, left side, and yeah, the hogs will clean this base up nicely. And that was a nice attack by Josh, our best Town Hall 8. So the next attack is also done by Josh, because who else can get a perfect war as a Town Hall 8 almost every war? I'm not gonna say anyone could, but because I can't, I usually fail because I overcomplicate. But as you can see, Josh is pretty much our basic mass hog attacker, and he's just very skilled with his hogs. And one nice thing I like about this raid is because it was a first attack, so he is very aware that there are plenty of possible giant bomb spots, and if you can use a couple of hogs just to get that information so you know where the possible giant bombs might be, and you can adjust your heals while you attack the base, so that's pretty useful. For anyone who didn't know, I mean, you can always use a couple of hogs and it will come in handy to try to get as much information about the base as you can. And yeah, and as you can see, he's just gonna surgical this base, dropping a couple of hogs on that side of the base. Nice heal. Now he's just gonna follow through by hogs. He's just reinforcing the hogs as they go through this base, and he's just gonna nicely follow the pathing of the hogs and heal. And yeah, he's just adding a couple of hogs here and there, adding where needed, and this base is going down pretty easily. There isn't many bases that can stop Josh from doing a hog attack, and you'll see a lot of our latest wars where he does some pretty impressive bomb triggers and nice trades, and overall Josh is our best Town Hall 8 in the end. My voice is really getting to me this episode, but I hope the next episode should get better. And yeah, and he's just gonna clean this base up nicely. He has plenty of wizards for cleanup and a lot of hogs, and this base is just done. Well done, Josh. Oh, by the way, Josh is our streamer, so if you are interested in watching us stream a live war, you can always check out Fade V2 on Twitch, and I will leave a link in the description of this video. And one more thing, I hopefully will get to do another recap right after this one, and get you guys posted on our wars as much as I can. I will use this time while I'm sick to record as many audios as I can for you guys, and yeah, hope you guys will enjoy and respect that. So in this war I did use my attacks. One of them was actually for a scout. Now the reason why I'm gonna show my scout is not because I'm in any way good hog attacker, it's just because to show you that it's pretty much valuable at these bases. For example, it's a pretty bad anti-3-star base, but I mean, other than that, it has a lot of possible double gen bomb spots. And the reason why I did a scout, because if you have good Town Hall 8s and they can clean up the base in the first try, or even have a lot of cleanup attacks left in the end that aren't used, you should almost always use them to help guide your Town Hall 9s, because it really helps them raid. As you can see, I managed to lure out the enemy CC and trigger one double giant bomb spot to test the others, and it's pretty much obvious where the second double giant bomb is. So a readjustment for a Town Hall 8, I mean Town Hall 9 should really help them if you do a scout. And yeah, so this was my second attack. This was actually cleanup, I mean, but there isn't really much to say about this base. It's pretty bad. It's an internet trophy pushing base. The CC is off-centered and the wizards can be taken care of with a poison spell, and I don't know what else to say. It's pretty bad base. So I'm doing a Shattered Gova Hollow on this base. As you can see, the golems are tanking all the damage, and I do have actually I did have a earthquake fail, but it didn't stop me for managing to 3-star this base, because I didn't panic. I'm not sure if I did that on purpose. I possibly did, so I can kill the enemy CC with the poison instead of wasting time to lure the enemy CC. But if I did fail, I mean, it's just my stupid mistake. I needed 4 earthquake spells for that, but in the end I do get a nice readjustment for this base, and as you can see, my readjustment was I did place the heal a bit earlier. It should have been deeper in the base so Valks have more time in the heal. But anyways, as I readjust, their defenses are slowly going down, and now I'm just putting my loons, a couple of loons on those defenses in the back and hogs on top and bottom. And now the hogs will really help in the end because they are good cleanup troops and loons aren't, and that's one of the reasons why I did this mix of troops in the end. Also, I like to do versatile attacks, so you'll always see me doing something. I don't know, I'll just overcomplicate an attack just because I want to show you guys something interesting, or I just want to try something interesting myself. And yeah, in the end I did lose a lot of I didn't have a lot of cleanup troops other than my Valks and Hogs, so I was really sketchy if I'm gonna make it due to time, but in the end I did get it, and overall it wasn't a bad shattered Gova Holo at Town Hall 8, if you ask me. It can always be better, and yeah. So the next attack is gonna be done by Ne, and he did the hog attack on this base, and it's pretty much obvious why. It was his first attack on the base, but the giant bombs are pretty obvious because the base is poorly laid out. And one of the reasons why I'm showing his attack on this base is because you can attack any base with different strategies. It doesn't have to be hogs, it doesn't have to be Govalo, it really depends on the attacker and if you can scout the base well enough to come to a conclusion if you can use that attack for that base. Now, one thing I didn't like at the beginning is he did lure the enemy CC to a corner, I guess, to bunch up, and he didn't really need to do that. The radius was pretty much enough to take care of those wizards right as they're coming out of the CC. And the nice thing he did here is he did do a king swap with the king tanking the enemy defenses, and that's pretty much a 1-for-1 trade with a nice extra. King to tank, it's a pretty big thing, especially if you don't have a lot of hogs, and Ned did that nicely, and this base is going down pretty easily. And as you can see, any base can be taken care of in multiple ways, it just depends on the attacker, and yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this war recap. I hope you guys don't mind that I haven't posted a lot lately, and I am really sorry, and I will try to post as many episodes as I can because I really like doing them. And that's gonna be it for this episode. See you in the next one. Peace.